Welcome to Becoming More, where we learn from other people's success as well as their failures. And I am excited to be with Frank today. Frank's been a friend for about 16 years. Actually, when we first started out, we weren't friends at all. You just had a great concept and a concept that I have to say, you're one of the best entrepreneurs that I know. You literally put your head down, you've worked at it very diligently, and a lot of people bought into your vision because you're a great leader that sells that vision and you keep casting that vision. Today, we want to add value to people. I just want to start out though with who is Frank Klesitz? Come on, give it to us. Give us a little bit of a bio and a back history.
Well, out of college, I was recruited to be a real estate professional and I liked the idea of the freedom of building my own business, and real estate was the vehicle for that at the time. I was at a real estate training and I was like, well, how do I get clients at like 21 years old or 22 years old? They basically said three things. One, go pick a zip code of people that probably a little more likely to sell than not with a good turnover rate. Prioritize the people in that zip code that might be old expireds, FSBOs, just listed, just solds, and go call them, knock on their door, and introduce yourself. Let them know that you're there to help them find out what their home is worth, or maybe get an offer on their home when they're ready to sell, and then get permission to stay in touch. Got it.
Yeah. Let's say that last part again, because I think a lot of times people just send out emails. I don't know about you. I get a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, go pick a target market, a high turnover zip code, and then identify the people in that zip code that might be a little more likely to sell. Like, you're typically in real estate, you have your probates, bankruptcy, divorce, vacant homes, old expireds, for sale by owners, for rent by owners, etc. And you have to reach out to those people cold in many respects and just introduce yourself and let them know that, you can help them find out what their home is worth if they need a good home value, or you can help them get an offer on their home, or you can help them plan a strategy for a move or for a sale. And pretty much everyone you talk to is not going to be ready to sell their home that day. So you need to ask permission and get consent to stay in touch. Specifically, maybe, is it okay if I add you to my newsletter, my touch campaign, my real estate newsletter? And then you put them on at the time, which was taught in the brokerage that I was being trained by, to put them on this 33 touch. You touch them in some way. They see you 33 times a year. And the 33 isn't, you know, an issue. It's more about a lot. It was a lot. A lot of times you got to stay in touch.
So some people are actually touching them more than that right now. Yet,
Sure.
being an entrepreneur, you came up with a great idea, an idea that no one else had thought about. Yet, it's pretty prevalent out there with
Yep.
videos and people sending those out. Yet, realtors were not doing that. How did you
Yeah. I
find
mean, in
any
the
of that?
class, I was like, what do we send out? And at the time, this is maybe 2009 or 2010, was like a recipe card or maybe like the football college schedule at the time. And I was like, this doesn't really help me articulate my competence or make me very relatable to the market.
I mean, like anybody can give the football schedule. They can even go to the high school and get one if it's high school, or if it's the Denver Broncos, they publish them all over the place. Yet you came up with video. Were you frightened to make videos at first, or were you just a natural?
Initially, well, no, it was very scary at the time. If anyone in the audience remembers, they had the flip cam that had the big red button in the middle.
Okay.
And you can go get a flip camera and you can record a pretty decent looking video and pop it up on YouTube and put it on social media. It was kind of taken
Good.
off. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I could email out video. Maybe I could post video because I'm trying, I'm young. I was like 21 years old. I was like, how is anyone going to take me seriously? I was like, I need to like prove to them I know what I'm talking about. So I went on Google and I just downloaded what are all the most commonly asked questions sellers ask and what are the answers. There's my content.
Well, here's what I love. You actually asked yourself a question and you said, what can I do? And a lot of
Set
people
myself
are
apart.
looking what they can't do. Many times when you say video, they go, I don't think I look good enough. How did you get over that? You got to look good and be right.
I remember reading at 18 a Jim Rohn CD, and there was a quote that really stuck with me as I'm like planning my trajectory of my life of like what I wanted to do. And the quote was, "Success is something you attract by the person you become." I was thinking about like how successful do I want to be? Well, I don't know. I want to have my own business. I want to be a leader, an exec. I don't know, whatever, right? And I just kind of knew looking around like the people that are successful I want to model, they're all like public speaking, they're all like making DVDs or on, publishing, and they're leading groups. Like I got to get really good at public speaking. I got to figure out how to conquer that fast because I knew I had to become a good speaker if I wanted to track the income that I wanted to, because I wanted the income. And I think getting on video was just one of those steps where like this is a necessary evil and challenge to overcome to get to where I want to go.
And
That
so
was
you
in my
just
mind.
started doing it. Well,
Well,
here's
yeah.
with you starting to do that and doing a 33 touch campaign where you're reaching out to your people all the time. You made a business out of that though, because a lot of realtors, they don't know what to say. You came up with what to say, how to say it. You actually gave them words that they could use.
Yeah, I had to sit down, plan my scripts. I had to shoot the video. I really wish I had someone writing scripts with me as a thinking partner. I really wish I had a director to shoot the video with me to make sure I did a good job. Then you have to edit it. You have to post it on YouTube. You have to target it. I mean, you got to do all that. And I was like, I don't have time for this. So I put together a checklist of like, I was going to hire someone to do all that for me. And as I was getting my real estate license, I couldn't sell any real estate yet. So I went and joined a real estate team. I asked the agent who's been in real estate for 30 years, after I come back from this class, like, what I asked her, what are you doing to stay in touch with your database? And she's like, nothing. I'm like, what? I thought this is what everyone does. So I told her, I was like, hey, I need someone to practice my system on for my touch plan. Can I do it with you? Can I get all your Outlook contacts? Can I get all your cell phone contacts of 30 years? Can I grab your whole database out of top producer at the time? And can I load it up and start like getting you on a video so I can edit it and work on my editorial process in letter terms, what it's called. And I did that, and dude, like blew up. Like she was like, people called her. I mean, there were short sales going on at the time. People needed advice. She got all these listing appointments. The next thing you know, she kind of, the people in her mastermind group see this stuff and she brings it up to how it's getting her business. And next thing you know, someone's like, well, can maybe Frank do that for me? Could Frank do that for me? And slowly but surely, I still didn't have my real estate license. So I was like, maybe this could be an extra way to earn some income before I can sell real estate to get my license. And lo and behold, that was how Viral started. Out of supplying demand to a real needy niche. I found a needy niche.
So here you've sold thousands of houses, hundreds of thousands of houses through other realtors.
I guess you could look at it that way, yes. I mean, many of the top agents in the country have just trusted us to give us literally all their contacts, which is kind of a big deal, right? And then get them on video to answer questions that database is asking so the content's relevant and get it out consistently again so you can articulate your competence and be relatable and stay in front of your most valuable asset, your database.
So Frank, you got into real estate thinking that you were going to sell the homes yourself.
Yeah. And I needed my own system.
And then you end up selling more homes than anybody because you sold hundreds of thousands of homes through
I never looked at it
other
that way. That's
realtors.
True. Yeah.
So the marketing, did you ever think you were going to be in a marketing company?
No, never. No. I mean, no. I was going to be a real estate agent, and just kind of out of necessity and more of intrinsic joy of enjoying the marketing process. Like I really enjoyed sitting down, making the video, and I enjoyed doing the editing. I liked writing the emails. I liked writing the blogs. I liked sitting behind my computer and doing the marketing. And also too, like I also just intrinsically just did not like the general idea of having to reprove myself to strangers my whole career.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like this system that I was very first taught. It still makes sense to me today after everything that's changed over 15 years. It's like, I can get behind, oh, there's a zip code. There's the houses. Okay. 4 or 5% sell a year. That's a good turnover rate. Okay. I can drill down in that zip code. Who might be a little more likely to sell than not? Great. Okay. Go talk to them. Go drop something on their door, knock on their door, call them. Don't break the law, text them, whatever. And just introduce yourself and let them know that you're the neighborhood expert and just get something very light at top of the funnel. Can I just stay in touch? Can I send you my helpful stuff? That's it. A top of the funnel offer. Oh, that makes sense. Now the marketing does the heavy lifting of proving yourself to this person. Great.
Well,
so now I can follow up and get an appointment and take me seriously, and it's easy.
Well, you're literally inviting yourself in, and people are taken in by video. They love the authenticity. They love the transparency. And yet most people don't do videos because they don't know what to say. They have no idea what to talk about. And here you give it to them on a silver platter. Now, I know when I first met you, I was so impressed with what you were doing and how different it was. And I love that 180-degree theory. When everybody's going that way, you go that way, right? That's what you were helping us do. And so here you are on stage, you get started when everybody wanted it so quickly, though. A lot of times companies go under because they get inundated with so much business. How did you handle all of that?
Well, great question. There was a couple things of focus. If you'll notice at Viral, it's one product. There's just one product. It's one build fee, one monthly fee. There's not an upsell. There's not a downsell. There's no menu. It's one thing because I could put every customer on the same editorial process, same Trello board, same projects, same system, train all of our employees the same way. It's almost like Southwest pilots don't have to learn new planes or new
Right.
routes. So there was an element of keeping the system consistent for everyone. Second, I learned how to train people to teach. I had to hire people that didn't have any experience in real estate to be like your coach or account manager or whatever language you want to use. Call
Yeah,
it account
nobody
manager.
else was doing it. This was
Correct.
all brand new. You
Yeah.
were forging new territory.
And I never sold a home. So what credibility do we have to guide someone like on their marketing? And I was coached on this is the credibility lies in the system. You teach to the system, not from experience. So I coached and I trained everyone. This is the system that you teach to the client. And there is a standard answer for every question. You give the company answer, not your answer. And everyone coached to the system. It was one consistent editorial process. And I will tell you, because we stripped out all of the friction of having to like send out video guy or gal to shoot your videos in a studio, where it was, let's just get on a quick phone call. Let's get on a webcam, shoot your footage. It made getting the videos of the human behavior quick and then we process it. So I think when it came to growth, how we handled it, one product that we focused on getting really good at for editorial process, everyone was teaching and training and managing to the system, not from experience. And the frictionless way of gathering the content just over now I'd call it like a Zoom meeting, basically, or Riverside, right from their phone or their webcam made that possible. Now, with that came all of the challenges of growing into a leader. And I would think over the past decade of doing this, you start off on a low-level leader just yelling at everybody all the time, saying, why aren't you good as me and what's wrong with you? Definitely spent a couple years on that level to working your way up the levels to people follow you because of who you are and what you represent and your values. And I'd like to think that I'm more toward that level now.
Well, it's the 5 levels of leadership, like John Maxwell teaches. What you were actually helping me out with, being certified with Michael Gerber. Remember, he was the real system king, right?
Great book. No, the E-Myth of
Yeah, the E-Myth
franchising
Revisited.
your business is, I read that book many times where I can arguably replace anyone here in any position within a few weeks where it's a systems-based business, not a people-dependent one.
Well, and it's interesting, writing 19 books for systems for realtors. It was easy because somebody could come in, they had the book, here's the system, follow the system, and the system helps the people be fabulous. Now, you had a system, you knew it worked, you kept tweaking it, making it better so it worked better every time. Let's say, though, that I'm somebody new. I'm a little fearful of making a video.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
Very common.
what do you do? What do you do?
Yeah. Okay, I'll walk you through it. So the first thing is linking the increase of income and what that increase of income will do for your life. If I can make the extra $3,000 a month, $5,000 a month, 10, whatever the number is, what will that do for my life? I really, really want that. And I understand I'm going to have to go through some pain of some growth to get from where I am to where I want to go with the reward of typically being that money. All right? Okay, let's try to make this as least painful now to do the videos. The first thing we're going to do is figure out what to say. I would look back at your Google Calendar. I would look back at your texts. I would look back at your emails and start thinking about what questions is your target market actually asking you? Not what you think they're asking, not what content you want to come up with, but what questions are people actually asking in your target market, and write them down. All right. Typically speaking, one right now is it possible to buy a home before I sell my current one so I'm not homeless and stuck with 2 mortgage payments?
Great question.
There you go. That's one of them. All right. Now you have to sit down and plan out a simple script of how to answer that question. And typically, anytime you get any professional speaker training, the answer is formulated in these parts. It's a hook, story, 3 key points, outro. Let me go through that again. There's a quick hook in the video. You tell a little story about why you picked the question, why it's relevant for the audience. You open with a story. Then you give 3 key points in your answer, almost like 3 chapters in the YouTube video, and then an outro. So you sit down and you write out your answer. Now, if you don't know what the answer is, not difficult. Just Google the question, the exact question, or ask ChatGPT the question.
I was going to say, and you give it to them. No, you
Correct.
do all of this for them.
Yeah, and we do that for you, and you can find it. But that's what we do. We just Google it. We don't know. We Google it.
Well, yeah. You're really searching for it though. And see, that gives me time to be doing other things. And that's what's so great about all of this. You've got the system, and the system is the solution. It's not like you have to reinvent all this stuff. And you're saying at least 33 times, if not more, you're going to be sending out these videos to your people via email because they gave you permission to do so, right?
Yeah.
So what are you finding the best ones? Everybody has a best video. Is it?
That's a great question. So let's just set aside we have a relevant topic that's answering a commonly asked question with a good structure. Okay. And it's great you actually asked that question because now it's time to shoot it. This is where people lock up. So when it comes time to record your video, I recommend you just get a nice webcam or use your phone, shoot it right in your home office like I am, and just dress comfortably. All right. And you meet with a buddy to kind of sit there and have a conversation with you, just like we're having a conversation with you. And you shoot your video in little scenes. You shoot the hook with the conversation, you shoot the story, you shoot each key point, and it's edited together in editing. But to directly answer your question, the best videos are where what you project to the world, call authenticity, what you project to the world and who you really are one and the same. The gap between what you project and who you really are is matched. And if you can get on camera where your real, comfortable, natural self comes out, especially where you look right at the lens like this when you're talking to make eye contact, that's the best video. Because when in a business standpoint, when we're doing these videos for business, what the consumer is looking for is someone who is relatable and authentic, real, no gap, right? Comfortable, gives you a sense of trustworthiness and likability, and you're also competent that you really have a good answer to the question and it'll take the appointment. That's all we're trying to do is warm people up to take appointment.
Yeah, and that preparation actually gives you that confidence because you're preparing for that opportunity. I loved when you brought in Jim Rohn earlier because it is who we become, right? We don't set a goal to achieve the goal. We set a goal to literally become the person that can achieve that goal. So it's all about becoming. You've helped many, many people become great agents by giving them a system to follow, a consistent system to follow. And it's pretty doggone easy because you do everything for everybody. All they've got to do is hit the button to record, do exactly what you tell them to do, and put it in their email. I mean, for heaven's sakes, that's pretty interesting. So, right now, knowing you, you started out helping one agent. I know through the years it's grown. How many agents consistently are you helping, say, every week, every
Yeah, right
month?
now it's about 450, which we have to put out about 900 videos a month. Everyone does about 2 videos a month. So you have to have a hell of a editorial process to take it from idea to out every 2 weeks for everyone there.
Well, you
Very
won't
good
take
Trello boards.
everybody on. I mean, you don't just take any realtor that wants to do this. You literally have a system of onboarding people as
Oh,
well.
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it takes a very special person. Like, let's just set aside the business rationality, logical side of this. I mean, of course, this to do well. But you're asking someone to be, jump to like being a public speaker on video and consistently go through that painfully all the time, making videos out to your whole list and pay for it.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of pain to start. So it is very self-identifying. I will tell you, if I could just give you one character trait, it's that of a viral client. It's someone who sees themselves or needs to be a leader. It is purely a leadership trait. A leader is someone that steps up among their peers, rounds everyone up that they know, and starts laying down some knowledge and advice and guidance as a speaker. If you can grow your leadership skills, you'll do very well at this.
You know, it's interesting because when we started this, we said, what do we want to do today? And it was add value to people because that's what leaders do. They add value to others every day and they help develop those others. You talked about the gap that a lot of people get caught in that gap trap. What do you do with agents that, let's say, they're doing 33 touch and they want to do more? Do you allow them to do more? Do you think it's better to do more?
That is a great question. Probably not. It depends upon the goal. So we always go back to what's the point here? For most of our customers, it's I just need more listing appointments. I need more listings. I need homes to sell. So I need more listing appointments. Okay. So let's measure listing appointments and let's focus on just enough marketing to the point of diminishing marginal returns, where for money and time invested, we get the most listing appointments. Because you can go off the deep end with marketing. And I've seen it over many years. It leads to, bankruptcy in many respects of like, you are just behind a computer doing marketing, doing all this wonderful stuff, focused on vanity metrics, like likes, shares, and everything else, but it doesn't turn into, you lose that, I need listing appointments to be able to hire me to sell their house. So to answer your question, I would say, look, we'll go back to the question, how many homes you want to sell? How many appointments do we have to go on to sell that number of homes? And do we have a consistent, sustainable, predictable customer acquisition system to sustain that revenue that you want? So one part of that is probably going to be some database marketing. Then you have this option. Do I do more marketing, or do I invest in more appointment setters to call my database and schedule more meetings with that marketing? And generally speaking, once you hit the point of diminishing returns on marketing, instead of doing more marketing, that's money and resources, appointment setters, calling assistants, calling that database, scheduling appointments for you is where I like to put that extra capital.
See, and that staying in touch is so important right now, because a lot of people, they're just not staying in touch. They think texting is doing a good job, and yet a lot of people really do want to hear from you, and that video makes it so much easier. I knew a lady when you were talking about spending a lot on marketing. This was many years ago. She literally lost her home because she kept going deeper and deeper in debt because of
Oh, because of the
marketing.
marketing. Oh gosh. No, and I say that, it sounds facetious, but it really is. Like the inevitable point is like you just get so lost in the sauce with the marketing that you forget the whole point here is not all these vanity metrics. I need appointments.
Well, and you're talking consistency. And anytime we're consistency with the one thing, like you are, there is success. And as an entrepreneur, you're modeling for the realtors how to be a great entrepreneur. That's why I asked you some of the questions I did, because even though you are doing viral marketing and doing videos, it's still the same. It's consistency, it's answering the questions, it's positioning yourself as an expert, and you actually give them the words to position themselves as an expert, whether they're brand new
Oh, you
or
can
they've
fake it.
been selling hundreds.
You can get a good script written by AI, and if you kind of use it, you can fake the competence, and that's perfectly fine. Because you're delivering it, and it's you. That's how you build the muscles. So yes, we can give someone absolutely the message people want to see. It's actually really
So,
cool, Dan. I just have to share with you, like you can train these AI algorithms on like how you want a script written. Hook, story, 3 key points, and then we'll say, hey, Chat GPT, will you write a script the way I've trained you answering this question? And I've included the transcripts of 3 popular YouTube videos that have already answered it, as well as 3 articles from news sources. Can you combine all that and make it a very relevant script for me? Done.
and it can actually put your voice in it. This is who I
Now
am.
you're getting into
I'm not so
avatars.
funny. I am funny. I want something in there that will
Oh,
make
the
people
voicing of the
laugh.
100%. And then model my voicing and communication style, make it more casual. Yeah. It's actually pretty cool. It does a lot of heavy
It,
lifting for you, but you still have to record at some point.
well, and you have to have the skill to be able to do that. And that's what you take away. See, I kind of well, let me ask you. You're in a hurry, you got lots of things going. Isn't it easier sometimes to call the restaurant and order food than to actually sit down, go to the store, get it and cook it, for heaven's sakes? That's what you're doing. You're saying, hey, you go do other things. You go out on the lake and have a good time, or you go work with your people. You go out showing homes. You go out on appointments. I don't care what it is you're doing. Let me do the heavy lifting for you. I'm going to tell you what they want to hear, how they should hear it, what's going to position you. I mean, how much easier can this get? It is a system, and you've given us a system with whatever we use. There's a hook. There's a story.
Story, three
There
key
are 3
points.
things you're going to do. And so with those 3 points, well, I don't know about that. Maybe I don't know what to say. And you go, here's your script. You can read it over and over till you feel comfortable with it. You can even do teleprompters and read it right there to the camera if you wanted to. I don't have one of those, and yet they are pretty cool. So, last parting words. Is there a question you wish I would have asked you that I failed to ask you?
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah. What's the number one mistake viral clients make?
Great question.
Yeah, number one mistake. And this is becoming more important as the years go on in marketing. And I would say the number one mistake is you have to get consent and permission to market to people generally before you do, especially online. I'd probably say, if there's one thing I can look for from a viral client, it's like getting results, is when you send me your database, is it a big giant spam list that you purchased of a bunch of people that have no idea who you are, that you've ripped off the list somewhere, that you think the videos and the marketing is going to magically revive appointments from the dead? Or do these people actually, at least at a bare minimum, actually know you? All right. And are you building the database by talking to your market, saying, is it okay if I put you on, building your list by consent? The clients that are doing the latter are like setting lots of appointments and like prospecting, and they're good salespeople, and they're talking to people, and they're kind of like building this permission-based asset. The
Yeah.
ones that are struggling just kind of like rip off a list, and you shouldn't do this, by the way, and just expect the marketing alone without consent by itself to warm it up, and it just does not work that well. Those are the two biggest things. I can always take a look at a client and see how to fix that.
It's kind of like walking into a room and saying, "Hey, here's my business card," right? And you're passing out business cards like everybody's going to want to keep that business
Yeah,
card and
I would
call
say
you.
so. Yeah, yeah.
Versus, "Hey, how are you? My name's Diana. What's your name? Where are you from?" And you get to know that person, and then you ask permission if you may stay in touch.
The
It's
art,
such a better way.
the art of turning a haven't met into a met, which I think that line is consent.
Well, and that's what you've done very well. Frank, you don't market to anyone, you don't email anyone that has not given you consent to do so. So I just appreciate you being with us today. I know that you have a lot of things to do. You're helping a lot of people. And that's what I love about it. I love helping realtors, adding value to them. And I know today you helped add value to many people. So listen to this, send it to your friends, and know you too can do video because Frank will give you everything that you need. Thanks again, Frank.
Yeah.
See ya.